With the whole team, huh?
Well, they were all at basketball, and that's my really good friend Dale, and so they all play together, and she overheard me talking about it, and she was like, oh, I want to come, and I was like, okay.
I see you brought muscle with you.
I know, right?
With a
Got a lot of HBA basketball in the room. It's a good lesson in government, right?
All right. Thank God.
Good evening and welcome to our January 13th, 2022 Township Committee meeting. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, this notice of this meeting has been published in the December 16th, 2021 issue of the Hunterdon County Democrat, and a copy of the agenda was forwarded to the Hunterdon County Democrat, Times of Trenton, Courier News, and posted on the bulletin board in Township Clerk's office on December 29th, 2021. Roll call. Ms. Casper Bloom.
Here.
Mr. Mills.
here.
Ms. Ramsey.
Here.
Mr. Wolf.
Here.
And Mr. Castellano.
Here.
Can I ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like a nomination for mayor for the Township of East Amwell for the year 2022.
I would like to nominate Mark Castellano.
I'll second it.
Any other nominations? Seeing no other nominations, can I have a motion to appoint Mark Castellano mayor for 2022?
So moved.
Someone has a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call. Ms. Casper Bloom.
No.
Mr. Mills.
Yes.
Ms. Ramsey.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
No.
And Mr. You can't really do it for yourself. So that's a tie and it defeats it.
Yes.
Cannot elect mayor.
Excuse me?
It's a 2 for 2.
And I vote
Can he vote for
And I
himself?
vote for myself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can we please keep comment down in the public, please? Thank you. Okay, Mark Castellano is mayor for 2022. Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you.
You want to be sworn in?
Yes. Certainly.
I will administer the oath of office.
Do you want to do catty corner?
Okay, this one.
Okay.
Okay. Repeat after me, please. I, Mark Castellano,
I, Mark Castellano,
Mayor,
Mayor,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all of the duties of the office of Mayor of the Township Committee
and justly perform all the duties of the office of mayor according
of the Mayor
of the mayor of the Township
Committee,
Committee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd like to hand the meeting over to Mayor Castellano.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, I'd like a nomination for Deputy Mayor for the Township of East Amwell for the year 2020.
I would like to,
22, sorry.
I would like to nominate Tara Ramsey as deputy mayor for calendar year 2022.
I'll second it.
With no more nominations.
Oh, with no more nominations? Can I have a motion to appoint Tara Ramsey for mayor, deputy mayor for the year 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Casper Bloom,
No.
Mr. Mills,
Yes.
Ms. Ramsey,
Yes.
Mr. Wolf,
No.
and Mr. Castellano.
Yes.
Ms. Ramsey, you're appointed deputy mayor of 2022.
Oh, yeah, get some!
We're having a little static electricity problem with my attire, so I apologize ahead of time if
Do you want to hide behind the podium?
It's because you're smoking hot and you're shocking. Go!
I'm gonna own it.
All right, Ms. Ramsey, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, repeat after me. I, Tara Ramsey,
I, Tara Ramsey,
Deputy Mayor,
Deputy Mayor,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of Deputy Mayor of the Township Committee,
of the office of Deputy Mayor of the Township Committee,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
You do a great job.
Any comments? Rick, would you like to?
I'd just like to congratulate you and Tara and hope you have a great year this year.
Thank you.
John?
Yeah, I got a couple of things I'd like to say. First of all, the township is extremely fortunate to have two high-character individuals, like yourself, Mark, and like you, Tara. You can be relied upon to always do what's right for the residents. And on top of that, which makes it even greater, you're two really good people. And I should be very proud, and I look forward to working with you. So,
Jenna?
I got a
follow that. I know, I think I talked enough last time, but congrats to you both.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Tara?
I really look forward to this office and to serving with all of you for another year, and Jenna for our first year together. I want to thank Krista for her tireless efforts being up here with us and being a referee at times. Mark, I'm really looking to working together again for another year. And I'm excited that you will be the mayor of our town. I want to I was elected last year, so this is my year 2, but the citizens and the community of East Amwell have put a lot of faith in me and in all of us, and I hope that we will continue to have that faith this year. We will do our best. We have a very open door policy in East Amwell, if you haven't noticed. All of our contact information is available online. We try to get back to our citizens, within a day or less if possible, right? We are here. I'm so pleased to see how many people are in this room right now. That's fantastic. Thank you guys for coming. I know there's a lot of people watching online as well. Please keep coming, right? If we can come in January when it's 25 degrees out, I'm hoping that we can still come in July when it's summer out and when it's not so cold and when it's a little bit brighter out as well, right? So we really look forward to having a very filled up room and community. That's how we get things done, and that's how we truly listen to what our town wants and what our town needs. My little man in the back is fading, so I will say a huge thank you to my family and to my friends. I have a lot of very dear friends here, including my friend Taryn, who did the swearing in for Mark and I. Pillow Pals Pack is strong with my friend Dale back there as well. Lots of friends in this room, and I appreciate your support. Mark and I appreciate your support. My children, Lucas and Malcolm and Madeline and my Toby, you guys have spent a lot of time this past year learning about government and about local government and about our community, and I am so proud of the way that you watch these meetings every single month. When you're not in school, maybe you'll start coming with them again to me, coming with the meetings with me. I love how engaged you guys have been, and I love learning and teaching with you guys. And finally, the handsome young man in the back holding that beautiful blonde baby, my number one. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel, for allowing me to do all of this and for always be supporting me. Thank you.
That's a tough act to follow.
I know, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Well, I just want to say welcome aboard, because I wasn't obviously here last week, and we look forward to working with you. I want to thank Tara and John for your support, your continued support. I want to thank my wife, my children who are in the audience, and one that's down in Florida, for their continued support through all of this, and especially for the support from the residents. And hopefully we won't disappoint you, and we'll continue to work hard and make East Amwell a better place.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, moving right along. Appointments and oaths of office. For all the boards, committees, and commissions, all members have been reappointed with the exception of the following: the mayor or mayor designee, the township committee member, and the township committee liaison for each of the committees. The planning board, Gregory Chiacchio will be moved from the environmental commission to the environmental commission with a 3-year term. Parks and Rec, Tyra Zangle decided not to renew her term and extended best wishes for the futures of the PRC. The Board of Health, Diane Harrington decided not to renew her term and enjoyed participating this year and hopes to rejoin in the future. All reappointment and changes will be posted on the website in the next couple days.
Within the next week.
Next week or so. The remaining appointments remain the same as prior year with the exception of the Assistant Treasurer is now Anne-Marie Sylvia, Deputy Court Administrator to be determined. The Joint Court Liaison is our dear Jenna Bloom, and the alternate zoning officer hasn't been determined yet. Moving right along, agenda review.
Under new business, we're going to add a discussion from township committee meetings for start time for each, the executive session and regular session.
Okay. Tara. Well, I just want to make it now. We're going to run the meeting a little bit different than we did previously. We're going to try to have more participation by the actual Township Committee members, not just one person. So we'll be alternating, making announcements and stuff like that. So, Tara,
All
you're
right,
on.
I'm on announcements. Perfect. Okay. So, guys, the East Amwell Township Committee will hold their regular scheduled meetings on the second Thursday of each month at 7:30. The next regular meeting will be held on Thursday, February 10th at 7:30. The 2022 reorganization dates for the boards and committees are posted on the bulletin board and listed on the township website. Christmas trees can be dropped off at the Grit Yard during regular operating hours, Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. The municipal offices will be closed this coming Monday on January 17th in observance of Martin Luther King Day. Annual dog licensees are due. It's $17 for a neutered spayed dog and $20 for a non-neutered and spayed dog. Late fees begin on March 1st. Okay, the annual free rabies clinic is scheduled for January 15th from 1 to 4 in the municipal garage. You can contact our deputy clerk, Ms. Krista, for details. Our fire company will hold a comedy night on February 5th at the firehouse. Tickets are $30. The doors open at 6 p.m. and the show begins at 7. If you'd like information or if you'd like to purchase tickets, you can go to the fire company's website at amwellvalleyfire.org. The Township Committee will hold a budget meeting, which is next Tuesday, January 18th at 9 a.m. in the municipal building. We're doing this a little bit differently this year, right, Krista? I think typically, I'm on budget, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So this year, I think in past years, right, we've tried to be very,
In past years, we did them prior to a township committee meeting. This year, we like to try something different and get more of input from the whole township committee. Margaret would like to get the whole township
Great.
committee's input, during the day when we're here, when we can all work together and work on the budget as one.
perfect. Yep, so if you're interested, if you have some time on Tuesday, next Tuesday, January 18th, please come join us. We will be here and we'd be happy to have some participation. And those are our announcements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review them?
Yes.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes, December 9th regular minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Abstain.
Anybody
Abstain.
opposed? No. All right, those are approved. Can I have a motion to approve the December 20th, 2021 executive session minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Anybody,
Sorry. Abstain.
anybody opposed? No. Can I have a motion, I'm sorry, the December 20th, can I have a motion to approve the December 20th regular minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Here's the one I get, right? Can I have a motion to approve the January 3rd, 2022 reorg minutes?
So moved.
Turn that, Rick. I got you.
I'm abstaining. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? No. All right. So that's- All right, next on the special discussions, John Allen, who's the township historian, he's going to here to discuss the acquisition of the Landis burial ground.
I'll take this off so you see I have teeth. Okay. I suppose you're wondering why I'm here. The first presentation I made about the Landis burial ground was in 2016 to that township committee. In 2017, there was a legal opinion rendered on whether a municipality is required to assume an abandoned cemetery and establish a maintenance fund. That wasn't really what it was about. The answer to that was no, you're not obliged, but I'm going to tell you why I think it's a good idea. Rick was kind enough to get these out to you, I believe. So if you look at the first one, it's the Exploring Ringo's Self-Guided Tour that's on the website. And you'll see on the right-hand side are the number of stops. And I've put in there a block with an arrow pointing from the Landis Harley Burial Ground. That's actually 125 yards northwest of stop 2. And really, it's on the next page, you'll see there's 2 pins. This is a Google Earth print. One is the John Ringo Burial Ground. That's the little white plinth that if you come into town on Boss Road, you'll see it off to your left-hand side. It's standing on the wood line. The Landis Burial Ground had, let's just say, disappeared for the better part of 50 years. And it was rediscovered by some of my colleagues on the Cemetery Committee for the County Historical Society about where the Landis Burial Ground pin is on that picture. And I'll point out 2 things. The property ownership details. 1, the owner is unknown. 2 is prior year tax amount was $0. Therefore, I want to point out to you, the township loses no tax dollars. I have passed around an 11 by 17 map. That's just for your information to show you what's been found so far. Now, a lot of these are unmarked. Now, I grew up Roman Catholic, so I really don't know if it's true that the Dunkards don't mark their stones. A lot of the stones are unmarked, but I understood that's one of their burial practices, is not to mark the stones. Now, if you look at the next slide, this one is marked, and it's marked 1739. And this brilliant little book, the bicentennial history of East Amwell, from 1700 to 1800, has that picture in it, and it says it's the oldest stone in the township. The oldest stone in the township is 1739, and we didn't know where it was from the 1960s until about 7 years ago. Why? Because nobody owns the tract. Owner is unknown. Okay, it's been found, that stone, and that is on your map. The next slide, well, next print, sorry, is courtesy of Bob Leith, who's the chairman for the County Historical Society's Cemetery Committee. This is the title work that he has done, and it shows that the Landis Burial Ground, which is a little square, a little rectangle on the right-hand side, for those of you in the back, you won't be able to read it, I'm sorry, that was excluded. So our quote-unquote title work, now mind you, I'm a geologist, I'm not a research guy for title searches. But the work that was done suggests that this belongs to a person who probably died 130, 140 years ago. And we don't know who it belongs to. So right now, the burial ground is there, it pays no taxes, and we don't know who it belongs to. I wanted to say, regarding the WW 1739 stone, we don't know really how old the burial ground is. It belonged in Amwell Township, our predecessors, and it's clearly before 1739. Johannes Nass came from Schwarzenau in Westphalia in 1733, and he came to Amwell Township. So he established a Church of the Brethren. Nass, by the way, is buried just on the other side of Haynes Road. So he's just in what is now Delaware Township. But we have this old cemetery, and it's covered in trees. We don't know what to do with it. I submit to you that it would be a really good idea to investigate Title 40, Section, 25, and I don't know if that's the right words. The lawyers will have to correct me if that's not. 25.60 to 0.62. And what it suggests is what I've got in the next but last slide. And that is, you're not obligated to take it over. You're not obligated to establish a maintenance fund. But if a municipality desires to take over a cemetery that has fallen into disrepair, and I gotta tell you, this is one that has fallen into disrepair, what is the process by which to do it? The New Jersey law provides a process, and that essentially is what my last slide talks about. We need to do a proper title search. Again, they're not gonna believe a geologist and an architect for, a title search. But we need to get that done. And then advertise per New Jersey statute to determine ownership. And I would suggest to you that it's things like posting a note in the Hunterdon County Republican, and it requires, that statute 40 specifies a number of times that has to be done. And then we need to discuss the parking requirement. And I say discuss, it's really not an issue. The Kirkpatrick Chapel people haven't been approached, but when we want to look at that burial ground, we park. It's not Sunday morning. That parking lot behind the church, behind it to the right, is empty the rest of the week. I would submit to you that that would actually be a good place for a resident or a visitor to park and then proceed on the self-guided tour. Or if Marcia Caro is running a tour for the 300th, that's the place to park. So that's what we need to do, and then we need to acquire an easement by necessity on a block that used to belong to Margaret Case. I'm not sure what the situation is with that right now. But where we have the John Ringo family plot with the white plinth, to get from there to the Landis burial ground or vice versa, we probably should have an easement. And that's really all I wanted to say. I know we have a lot of new township members. I've been here since 2016, and I'm happy to come back in 2 years, but I'd really prefer we make some progress on this. And I'd like to ask you, Rick, if you would provide the title work that was done to the rest of the committee members. It was done in, 2019, and was kind of shaky, and we just need to have that properly done.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Wasn't the title search work done?
To get, an amateur did some title search work and prepared a handwritten document with his notes. I don't think that's going to work for a court. I think we need to get a title company to do the title search. We did get some estimates a few years ago, and it was, they said anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000. That sounds high to me. I think this should be doable for around $1,000, give or take. We would just need to get the approval to spend that money to get the title work done, or at least to go out and get estimates. Then once the title work is done and we confirm that there is no owner, because all the amateur title work that was done indicates that it's like the Kleinschmidt house. The last person who was the owner died, and there's nobody that follows thereafter. So we would then try to find an attorney who may be on a pro bono basis, wink wink, would go into court and try to get us awarded cemetery. So if we do labor ourselves, the cost to get this done shouldn't be much more than $1,000.
The title search.
Right. Then we need to clear. It's overgrown back there. It needs to be cleared. A pathway needs to be cleared from the church to the cemetery. We may at some point want to pursue with the landowner getting an easement, and if the landowner won't give us an easement, then we can go to court and try to get an easement by necessity. Because New Jersey is not fond of landlocked parcels. And if you can demonstrate the parcel that gave birth to the landlocked parcel, you can often get an easement by necessity over the parcel that gave birth. And we think we know which parcel gave birth to this, and that would produce an entry off of Boss Road.
That's right.
So you mean like that would be like a subdivide on?
It wouldn't be a
birth, or-
subdivide, you would just get the right to cross along the border of that property to go from Boss Road to the Landis burial ground. The ideal solution would be that the church gives us the okay, but if we can't get an okay from the church, then we'd look for an easement by necessity. The nice thing about the church is the parking lot is there, and it's probably a bit shorter of a walk back to the burial ground. There is some junk back there. I can't tell if it's on the burial ground itself or not, but
No, I've got it on the map. And you're right to say that, Rick. There's metal scrap and farm debris, and that was courtesy of, I suspect that was courtesy of Claude, who kind of used it as a place to put things. So there's equipment, and there's a couple empty drums.
yeah.
It's been a little bit since I've been back there, but it needs a good pickup.
There's one very large tank, at least there was 2 years ago, back there.
I
Don't
went-
know if there's anything in it.
I went this morning. There's to check it out because I've lived here a while and I went to look at it because I didn't realize it was back there. But there is a lot of stuff. You know how the parking lot is like paved and then it goes to like a gravelly thing. Like,
Right.
in that gravelly area, there is trucks. There's trailers now. There's a lot of. I don't know who owns that. I don't know if that's the church or somebody else's property now.
Well,
It's
that,
between like the paved part and like before you get to the Landis burial grounds. There's like a section there.
Right, it's just weeds in the
Yeah, but
summer.
there's like trucks.
But
and-
somebody does mow that, so somebody must, I think it belongs to the church, I think.
Okay, there was just a lot of stuff. I was surprised when I went around and looked. But
that's not on the burial ground.
no, there is some stuff
But
around the burial ground
When you get back to the
area.
burial ground, there are those tanks.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else is there, because when I was there, it was summer and it was, there may be a lot more there that's now visible in winter.
Yeah, there was some like machine farm stuff. Yeah.
So that's all I have. So thank you for listening.
All right, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we want to make a decision on this evening, whether to authorize moving forward with the title work subject to a cap?
Well, we're coming up doing budget, right? So,
Don't we have money in the budget for the Historic Preservation Committee this year for this?
I believe they sent it over to the calendar.
You took money from it in 2019, from their
But-
budget.
Okay, I thought there was money in the budget for this.
I'll have to ask Margaret.
Okay.
but-
all right, so I think pending budget talks or discussions, but it's something we should probably pursue. Again, pending a cap on what the title search would be and legal costs, so.
Yeah, when we got estimates for the title search, that number you quoted, that was like 2 years ago, Rick?
I didn't get those estimates. Gebhardt and Kiefer, the municipal lawyers a few years ago, got those estimates. I then had a conversation with the lawyer who did a personal real estate matter for me, who in turn talked to a title company. They thought it could get done for $1,000, maybe a little more than $1,000. So maybe the next step is, while we're going through the budget process, I could make some phone calls to title companies like Cortez and Hay and see what price we could get, given what we're trying to achieve here. Maybe they would cut us a little bit of a
Yeah.
break on the price. And that way we have a target.
It would probably be
Right.
prudent because the estimates are a few years old,
Right.
so it probably wouldn't hurt, especially as we're going into the
We
budget
can
meetings.
find that out, and Rick's gonna forward me, apparently there was some legal work done on this a
Okay.
while ago, so we're not gonna reinvent the wheel, so we'll see what
Okay.
was done and we'll try to move ahead.
That's a good point, Frank, because some of the things that should be on there would be the book and the page.
Yeah.
And all a title searcher would have to do is go to that book and page. It's not like
Yeah, it shouldn't-
he's gotta trace it all the way. If there's some key deeds those are the ones they would go to.
I have a lot in a file because we had an amateur title person go through and do it. And I have a lot, and that would probably be a good start for a title company. So hopefully we can get something that we can afford, or if we can't afford it, maybe we could raise some money through private donations and get it done. I'm confident John will be able to come up with the money to get the title work done.
I'd be more than happy to work with the village folks, the village committee, to make sure that it's incorporated in the self-guided tour as well, because there's no sense in picking it up if you're not going to
Post
have
it that
residents
it's there.
seeing it.
Right.
But that would be great. Up it
Thank
goes.
you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Monthly update from the Ammo Valley Rescue Squad?
Good evening. I'd like to thank the outgoing mayor and deputy mayor and look forward to working with both of you. Our fund drive is going on right now, so if you got the letter and you can give, that's great. If not, we understand too, but we only send out one letter. I know people get upset when they start receiving more than one donation letter, but we try to only do one letter. COVID is right now a really big thing still. So a lot of people are calling us for if they don't have any symptoms. We really can't do anything if you don't have COVID symptoms, and we can't, and the hospital won't do anything for you. So, I mean, if you need someone to come check you out, we're still happy to come and make sure. But if you do have a medical problem, I'm not saying don't call us, but the hospital's overwhelmed, and you're just gonna, if you don't have any symptoms, you're gonna be waiting a long, long time in the hospital before you get someone to look at you. So, if you have symptoms, we'll come out and help you. But if you don't, call your regular doctor and see what they recommend. Remember, you can always call your regular doctor. But please, don't hesitate to call for any medical emergencies. I know people are afraid to go to the hospitals again. Don't be afraid to go to the hospitals. You need to go to, if you're having chest pain, pain that you don't normally have, anything like that, you really should call, okay? And we are wearing more protective stuff now. The new one, they say, is more contagious. But now they're saying it's not as bad as the last one, so I don't know what they're saying. So, I'm not a doctor, so we won't go into that. For December, we did have 53 calls, and we answered 39 of them. And our total hours was 994 with 15 minutes. That's how long people were at our building for the month of December. As you know, we bought an EMS cart, mostly for the fair, but I also want to use it for fire calls and other things. So we just actually purchased, and this was a good find, 2022 8.5 by 16 trailer. So it actually fell into our lap. Someone ordered it, and then they didn't want it, and then all of a sudden we showed up, and they're like, "Here, this is our trailer." So it's going to do other things. It's going to help support the whole township. If there's a fire or something, we can now take water and things and set up like a little rehab thing for vitals and things. So we're very excited about that. And I won't have to drive down the road to go to Closet Park anymore, 10 miles an hour. That's all it does. Just so you know, this month, it's the 13th day, and we've already had 17 calls this month, and we've answered 12 of them. We are on a dual alert thing with Lambertville and Flemington still, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. When we do have a crew, like this morning we actually had a crew, so they do cancel the mutual aid. And we are looking at joining maybe 3 squads together to help, so there'll always be an ambulance around here. It's going to be a lot of talking. I talked about it at the last meeting, about possibly joining our forces to cover everything from Flemington down. So it's going to be a long time coming, and I'd like to get if you have a committee member that's assigned to the emergency services side, I'll meet with them and to discuss it. I want to make sure the township is way involved in the whole thing. But we're trying to help everybody. So we do cover a lot of mutual aid at night for other squads too. So just so you have an idea, we had 462 calls last year. We answered 392 of them, only missing 70. So in the long run, and please don't get me wrong about when I say that we miss calls. I take that very personally. It upsets me when I'm at work and it goes off and I can't go. So, and that's why we wanted a mutual aid thing, because there's no sense of you guys waiting 8 minutes and then another squad dispatch. So I do thank Flemington and Lambertville for doing that, because they're both very busy also. We had a total of 14,114 hours and 45 minutes of people at the station and answering calls. I won't read my whole report, but the surveys we talked about, we sent out 310 surveys in 2021, and we got 93 back. And most of them were saying great or good, that we did a good job. Some of them do come back with donations. We don't, that's not a donation thing, but if you sit, of course, we're not gonna send you back. We need all we can help. So, let's see. So, again, a lot of our increased spending is in personal protective equipment. And again, I'd like to thank Wolf and your wife for buying those hoods for us when I came to the township meeting and said we didn't have enough hoods, so I really do appreciate that. And one of our squad members donated a UV light and an ozone fogger to disinfect the rigs after COVID calls. And then we also do the building, and we do the rigs whenever we've had a lot of calls anyway, because you never know what's COVID and what's not. Because if you ever got a call from the health department, it's not normally the next day saying someone had COVID. So we had many storms in 2021, snow and rain. I'm happy to say that we've had crews in-house for every storm, snow or rain, even for Ida. And I do have to say that for the hurricane, we did lose 2 people in the township by the Hollywood Bridge. It's very upsetting, but our squad and all the remaining squads around us and the fire departments were really overwhelmed. And I have to thank the State New Jersey Task Force 1 from Trenton, who actually came up and was able to do the rescue. So, or we would have lost more people. So, and it's not something that we can really solve by buying a boat, because you really need. I mean, I came from Lambertville Rescue Squad, so I'm very familiar with the river and flooding. It's especially training that you have to take. And the Rescue Task Force Rescue 1, when they came and they do this throughout the country for major incidents, they deploy throughout the country. They almost couldn't go in and rescue these people. That's how bad it was. So it's not something that like the township should go, oh, the fire department and the rescue squad should get a boat. It's years of training to make sure you're equipped for that, to be safe. So, and we really couldn't do that because we don't really have the manpower. I can get 2 ambulances out most of the time for major incidents, but really to do a major rescue like that, it's really specialty people, and it's really a hard thing. Of course, I'm always available. Kristen has my card, my phone number, so you guys can call me at any time if you need something. I know we're volunteer, but it's pretty much a full-time job afterwards, so.
Well, John, you're going to be the contact.
Okay.
John will be your contact from the Township Committee to liaise any issues.
Yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to talk. I'm very interested in the whole mutual aid thing, so we'll get together and have a
Yeah,
conversation.
so we haven't had a meeting with the other 2 squads yet, but we're going to, and then, I'm not sure how big it's gonna be or whatever, but at least hopefully we'll get an ambulance and the staff here all the time. And again, if we have an ambulance at our station, it could cover more Random Township, more Delaware Township, and really take a load off of the other squads too. So, very excited about that. I'm very glad that they're agreed to do mutual aid for us again without waiting. It's all about the patient care, and this week and, well, over Christmas break, we were really lucky because we had a lot of kids home from school. The last one goes back Monday, so we're back to like not having anybody around during the day. So it really hurts, but we can only do so much as we can do. But again, we're here anytime you need it for questions or anything. I am not going to stick around because I have to take my mother to the hospital for a doctor's appointment tomorrow at 6:30. So, and I have to drive to her house. So I'm going to go home and go to bed. So,
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
all right, thank you.
All right.
Thank
I look
you.
forward to working with you, Pat.
All right, next we have a standing committee report, the Historic Preservation Committee quarterly report. John?
Mr. Mayor. John Sarambit, Chair of Historical Preservation Committee last year. The quarterly report was going to be in writing to you, but because of holidays and stuff, Renee will be getting that to you before your budget meeting and before our reorganization meeting, so we may look at it. I'll bring you up to date. We had a meeting. I told the people, or my members, to set certain goals for the next reorganization meeting in January. But the main things that we did discuss were we were going to reach out to the Grange and try to promote the Grange here in East Amwell, the charity worker. Invite her or some other members to come and give reports to the Historical Committee during the year, and us going to the Grange meetings and hopefully giving reports. We did read in November, or I did, the preservation ordinance, and I did talk to the village committee, which I'm also a member of, Chris Obieski. And I believe that the historical preservation and the village committee should be working more and more hand in hand. Because in our ordinance, it talks about disrepair homes, disrepair historical places, and different things of that nature. As you also know, the historical committee got involved with doing the tree lighting with the recreation committee. Mark, your wife Allison, had reached out to me. So we all thought, again, it was a great idea. And it did work out very well. It brought the community together, some people together. And it really helped the parents and the children enjoy, I really believe, the Christmas holidays. We also discussed where we're going to have our meetings this year. And during the reorganization meeting, that'll be brought up again, but it looks like we're going to have all of our meetings at the Clausen House, the Historical Preservation Committee. We're also going to reach out to the East Amwell School. I want to talk to the history teachers, get the history teachers involved with the, with the Clausen House, the museum, and bring the future of East Amwell into the historical components of the township. Since John Allen's here, I'll ask him. But we also are going to reach out to John to come at least quarterly to our meetings and to discuss this future with the East Amwell children and maybe have talks at the school in different aspects, like John just brought up the cemeteries or different historical points. The other thing that we also brought up that hasn't been finished, and Mark, or Mr. Mayor, we will reach out to you in the committee, is that years ago, the museum, the Historical Society, and the township was supposed to have a lease between each other, explaining explicitly what the use of the home is supposed to be for the museum. Not the museum dictating to the township, but the township dictating to the museum. And I think that's something that really needs to be worked on. It has, which we will be doing. We will probably send a draft to you probably by the February meeting. And moving forward with that, so there's no misunderstanding as to who's who and who's what. In the bylaws that was submitted to the township,
Committee a while ago from the Historical Society. It does state that, unfortunately, if anything does happen to the museum, all of the assets of the museum become township property. So I'm just bringing that up that we do need to look at that into the lease. And that's what we've been working on, and we did go, like I said, through our ordinance. Another thing, we are going to get more closely involved with the planning board. Renee's going to reach out to Krista so that we know what's on the planning board prior to the meeting, so we can give our points. That's it.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
Now, open to public. Can I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're now open to the public for topics not on the agenda. Anybody? No? Here, John.
Francis.
Right here, right here.
I'll
Yeah.
wait. You know why?
Miss Linda.
My name is Linda Ranft, R-A-N-F-T, live at 148 Cider Mill Road. Not sure if this is the correct time to bring it up, but it has to do with the snow fences. I live on a road that has nothing but farms up and down it. And when the snow comes, we don't have snow fences on some of these corners and everything. And after the roads have been plowed, because there's no fences, the snow comes right across them. Now, I realize it may be a financial reason why we can't afford to put snow fences up, or it may be that it's not our responsibility to do it. But I do know that our trucks do come out and plow the road. And I was wondering if we couldn't put snow fences up, if there was some way that we could make a phone call to someone to tell them that we've got even more snow on the road than before you plowed it because of the wind that's come across. And I didn't know where to bring that up, but I thought this might be the place to do it.
So all you would have to do is give us a call, the clerk's office or the DPW, and let us know that there's a road hazard due to snow.
So
And-
that would be our response, is that, because it ended up that it came across the road and it was there for like 2 to 3 days.
Yeah,
just
it happens,
solid
it
ice.
happens all over, even if there's a snow fence or not. The
Okay.
snow fence not gonna, it's because the wind's taking it and blowing it.
Right,
But-
so our responsibility, or what we can do, is to call you.
The clerk's office
The clerk's
or the
office?
DPW, because it'll go right to the DPW superintendent,
Okay,
and they'll take care of it.
okay, and is that a proper thing for me to do?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Linda, they do send trucks around when they know that there are bad areas. The snow fences don't do much, if anything. The county puts one on my farm every year, and it does nothing to stop the snow from blowing onto 604. The snow fences won't solve it, but the DPW, they will come out, and it's not an inconvenience. If they know that there are bad areas, they do it on their own. So if you just let Jason Silverthorne know, or call Krista and she'll let him know, they'll take care of that.
Yes, I didn't know what to do, and so that tells me what to do. And the problem is that our road is the last road in the county in East Amwell going east.
Yeah.
We have maybe 11, 12 homes on it, so it doesn't get a lot of traffic at all.
If you ever have any questions, feel free just to call me directly and I'll point you in the right direction.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Linda.
Tim?
Tim Willie, 25 Bird Lane. First of all, Mark, congratulations on becoming our mayor. Tara, congratulations on becoming our deputy mayor.
Thanks, Tim.
And I see that I'm going to be working with you on the planning board, and I look forward to it. And I hope we can have a good year, and look forward to getting things done, because we got a busy year on planning board. Sorry. You're in for it. But no, look forward to working with all of you.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay.
John?
Just real quick, I forgot one other thing from my quarterly report. I just wanted, Ms. Brick had a question about the budget. In our December meeting, we voted for $1,200 to the Historical Society out of our budget over to the calendar, because the previous year, we lost the amount of that money, $1,000, if you remember, that was put over to pay for the title person, was taken out of our budget from the prior years. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Duly noted. Francis?
Lost art of walking, excuse me. I'm Frances Gavigan, 123 Wartsville Road, Ringgoes, New Jersey. Hi y'all. Hi y'all. And to sort of, with the cemetery, I remember when we would go out there and seeing what disarray it was in, and all sorts of kudos and thanks to John Allen, our township historian, for all the diligence and work that he does. Another cemetery that is sorely neglected is the Quick Cemetery on the corner, on John Ringo Road, next to the Sarambas. And I believe that is an orphan cemetery, and there were a lot of trees that went down with that. You know, there was the intention to do something about getting going with the cemetery and the title search, and as John said, the money from the Historic Preservation Committee was taken. I understand there was some gentleman, Chuck, who did the title work, and I think, from what I understand, I'll get that confirmed, he is a professional, but if the work was substandard, I'd like to know what he was paid, when he was paid, and I think any and all records associated with that are township property and should be in the custody of our records person, Krista, and available at minimum to the committee and to the boards, whether it's the Historic Preservation Board or whatever. That's just a thing. And I hate to be bringing it up again, but we have a conspiracy in East Amwell. Are you a conspirator? Whatever. We've got Santagate going on. There are, and in the rule of unintended consequences, there was an event at the Grange holiday dinner, a disruption. I was cooking with one hand and whatever, and it was said, we'll deal with this tomorrow. Well, the next day, I believe, the Oprah was filed starting Santagate to the Park and Recs and Environmental and Historic Preservation, almost anybody on the planet who may have worked for the township or volunteers their time to things, threatening lawsuits and whatever. And I know at least 3 people who were interested in the society or in volunteering who were scared off and had to be talked down from a ledge because I don't want to get involved in litigation, you know, or any of this stuff. I have a primary email account. I also have business accounts, live and dead, and I had major surgery, you know, I was cut from here to here and had the hand thing during the original window, and Frank was kind enough to provide an extension. Well, when I get back to the computer, the way I read the original Santagate, it was anybody on historic preservation, which is all that I am on. Now, I'm also on the Historic Preservation Society and have been running it since Santagate, and having it open and things like that. And from what I gleaned from conversation with you, Frank, and with others, a private entity, a 501c3, should not be involved in political things and is a separate entity and is outside the scope. I did go and look at some things, some internal historic preservation emails, and I can see that at least on one, I had copied as a courtesy John Allen, our historian, and Mr. Saramba, and that had to do with the tree lighting at Clawson. But anything that I did or submitted was I submitted and I gave you a copy. I got a notice, an email from Renee about it, and I responded, thanks. And then there was another one that was, similarly, and then buried in, and I gave you the whole thread, and Allison's emails and John's and correspondence looped in there the way they do in threads twice. It's much ado about nothing. I got a document yesterday that, the township has been advised that they might be being sued by the Oprah filer, which is Mayor Wolf, former Mayor Wolf, thank God, and different things like that. So there's another thing out to volunteers. We have a chronic problem with getting people to come to meetings or to volunteer on boards or to serve in the community because, as one person told me, I don't need this shit. I also don't need it. If I gets flung to me, it goes in the manure pile. And it's currently nourishing the vines of, the vineyard. It's ridiculous. I will be filing Oprah requests. I have identified an attorney should I need it, and I might be doing a GoFundMe for this. But there's also information that's being provided to me by other legal entities, and there are steps that can be taken, and there are opinions that are on the Oprah page about injunctions against basically frivolous Oprahs and things like that. I think it is obscene that a member of this committee and a former mayor of the township should have derived a window from October 1st to the end of the year over the tree lighting being at Clawson Park, where the tree was moved without anybody's knowledge, instead of here with a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And that the building that the society has care of and insurance for is not our property or something we can dictate, but it was communicated to me that the tree lighting and the Santa thing was going to happen. So I started getting ready for it. I got decorations with help of people and started to do that under the assumption that it was going to be decorated for Christmas like it always is at Christmas that weekend, because I had to go out of town to a funeral. That brouhaha within the Historic Preservation Society, whatever, resulted in some resignations and whatever. Don't much care. But the negatives of this crap, and I will quote colloquially, is that there is a great reluctance by people to volunteer. We almost had a member of the Historic Preservation Committee resign over this, and statements that were made at the Historic Preservation Committee, because she'd been involved for years and knew that the work on Clausen House and the getting the museum going had been going on for well over a decade. I know, since I am one of the original members and listed on the Articles of Incorporation of the Historical Society. The Historical Society in the last 2 months has been very open to the public. Last weekend, it's open twice a month, the second weekend of the month and the fourth weekend of the month from 1 to 4.
You're up. Time's up.
Yeah, well, I have a Gaelic statement for that. But I ended up shoveling the snow and having the museum open last weekend, and we got not only visitors and other people who came because they couldn't use the park. I'll get
Thank
you
you,
the
Fritz.
second open. Can't make this shit up.
Anyone else from the public?
It's on TV and it's also on recording. If somebody could not be posted.
All right, seeing no one else, can I have a motion to close to the public, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving right along, consent items, nothing. We have a resolution up for the authorizing the use of the public right of way by Planet Networks. Planet Networks came in a couple weeks ago and did a presentation. They're looking for our approval to start installing or fiber optic cable to start offering internet service as an alternative provider to, I guess, Comcast or Fios or whatever. So I know, Rick, you wanted to look at the document. Did you?
I haven't had a chance, but I'm fine going on
Yeah.
Frank's comments.
We had
You're
a
okay
chance to
with-
look at the form resolution they provided. We made some changes to it to tailor it to our, or a little bit more to our needs.
And they were agreeable to it?
Well, they were, if we're gonna approve it tonight, they're
Yeah.
gonna receive it, so.
Just checking.
That's where we're at.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. It's moved. All right, we have no ordinances, no ordinances now.
New business.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry. I was moving you along.
Oh, you're moving right along? You got all that energy after that alarm woke you up? All right, under new business, there's a bike, 2 bike weekends actually, and one might be affecting East Amwell. They want not going to occur till later in the year. There's one scheduled for May and another one scheduled for October. It's evidently, they're pretty significant bike rides. They're a couple hundred miles, some of them, and they're taking place over 3 days. So the one ride might actually, that might affect East Amwell is they may use Clausen Park as a satellite site to start one of their racing teams or ride teams. And all they're basically doing is giving us notice, so.
Just to let you, to inform you, that this event has not been before the Township Committee
Right.
prior. Normally they come in person and present to the Township
Right.
Committee. However, the gentleman does not live anywhere near here.
Right.
So I thought it would be okay just to present it with the information that he provided.
All right. All right, again, and this is all, are you leaving?
No, cold.
Oh, this is obviously all COVID dependent too.
Yeah.
So, can I have, anybody have any questions or comments about the event as it is?
So I don't remember talking about one of these in the past. Is this, we just have to approve that they would use cloth, that they would use the park?
So they can use the park, but we make sure that they have to clean up after themselves.
Right.
That, like, they don't use any markers. So most people put signs up. They use like paint markers or different things for
Yep.
rides. This event, gentleman does not. But we would put that all in a stipulation thing. If you do anything, you need to clean up after yourself. So,
Krista, what do the numbers look like? How many riders?
it was in the Google Drive with the
I
information.
didn't see any, but
Let me look.
See, I missed it.
I think he's got numbers. Yeah, he's got no more. He's got no numbers in there.
No numbers?
No. He said he hasn't run them in a while, but
Yeah, but the way he described it to me is that they don't go all out at once. They
stagger,
They
right?
stagger, and they leisurely go out and ride themselves. So it's not gonna be like 120 bikes going down the road at one time.
Okay.
I don't think it's any different from any other bike event we've had here.
all right, but can we give them a conditional approval for this event
Ab-
based on more information as we
Absolutely.
get closer to the date? Is that
Absolutely.
fair to everybody? Yeah?
Sounds
All right.
reasonable.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the Tom Burns Bike Weekend event? All in favor? Or, well,
No.
can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so just tell him it's like a condition, you know, he's got,
More information.
right, and as he gets
Number of
closer.
riders.
Right, that kind of
Okay.
stuff, and as we get closer, and if they're actually gonna have it, obviously, because it's COVID dependent.
Right, absolutely, okay.
So, and the second item on it is now the Township Committee meeting start time.
Yeah, so the way, the meetings were advertised and how normally township meetings are ran is, the executive session's included within your meetings. So technically, our meeting starts at 7 because our executive session's at 7. We moved it up to the top so we don't have our residents waiting for us to go through executive session and then coming in and out. I'd like to know if you want to start the meetings at 7, have executive session at 6:30, or keep it at executive session at 7 and then the public at 7:30. So that way the public knows when to attend the public session. So there's a difference.
She's just asking, do we want to move this up a half hour?
No, I'm thinking executive session at 7 and start the meetings at 7:30. I mean, it's been, we haven't had an issue like that.
No, but technically, like, our meetings are at 7. And then we could, like, say if we don't have an executive session, we can go right into a meeting since our executive session's at the top. But
That'll confuse the public. The public, we should have a time when the public meeting starts.
Right.
so
Right now,
technically,
the
we're
public
setting
knows it's
2
at
meeting
7:30.
times. Essentially.
The only reason for moving it up a half hour is if you want to get home a half hour earlier. Instead of getting home at 10 or 10:30, you get home at 9:30 or 10.
Bedtime.
Krista's going to bed now at 9:30.
I know, right?
Okay. So,
I don't know, you got any thoughts on that?
I would like it to be earlier. I'm thinking through like 6:30. I mean, I don't know.
Is that a little too early for you,
That's-
though? 'Cause
That, I don't know.
We're trouble
I'm
making
also thinking
7,
about the public,
so.
right? So, I don't know, guys.
Jenna? you got
I would
any-
love to be home a half hour earlier, but I don't know if that works for everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go earlier if it worked for people, yeah.
ditto.
Right, looks like
So we'll do 6:30 and 7.
that's what it looks like.
Perfect.
Is that all right, John? Right?
Yeah, that's okay.
Frank?
Yeah, Frank, does it meet your schedule? Like, okay,
All right,
All
so
right.
be it, right?
perfect.
That was easy. All right. Now we're back to open the public again. All right, we're back to open the public again. Can I have a motion to open to the public, please?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? All right, we're now open to the public for the second session.
Linda Raft, 148 Cider Mill Road. I just need to know a little bit about what we just decided on, which is fine. The executive session, is the public not supposed to be here? Are we not supposed to come until the regular session starts?
Right.
So technically, you actually can come at the beginning of the executive session.
Right.
But then we will excuse you when we start the executive session. You will go out and sit in the hallway.
Okay.
And then when we end, you can come back in.
Okay, that, I just didn't know,
Yeah.
because like I got here at 7:30, and it looked like we were already into some of the things, and I thought, well, maybe I was supposed to have been here earlier and just keep my mouth shut. But it's a regular session, means that's when the public should come.
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sorry to bother
All
you.
right.
No, thanks, Linda.
Anyone else? Francis?
Part 2. Again, the stagger walk. Still Francis Gavigan, 123 Wurtsville Road. I got documents, I got a stack of paper from Krista yesterday about what the responses had been since I was alleged to have failed to produce things. Whatever. But there was an Oprah request that was sent out Monday, January 10th at 3:30 to a whole lot of people that reads, and I'll read it into the record. On December 8th, 2021, East Amwell received an Oprah request from Richard Wolf, which requested the following information: any written correspondence, including letters, emails, text messages, and direct messages sent or received by any member of the East Amwell Township Parks and Recreation Committee, Historic Preservation Committee, or Township Committee, or by any township employee during the period commencing October 1st, 2021 and ending December 7th, 2021 with an extension date of December 27, 2021, discussing the use of the East Amwell Township Museum building, also known as Clausen House, as part of the township's holiday gathering and tree lighting at Clausen Park on December 3rd. Since that new paragraph, since that date, I have received incrementally partial responses to this Oprah request. Notwithstanding that over a month has passed since the date of this Oprah request, a full and complete response has not been made, even though Krista did not go through all the loophole things, but somewhere there's been an assumption, focused on the first 3 words. For example, Allison Kovchek, a township employee, has refused to comply with the Oprah request. Similarly, it is clear from the responses I have received to date that certain members of the committees specified in the Oprah request have not provided complete responses. I guess this is linked to the conspiracy theorist. For example, there are several emails that Francis Gavigan sent or received, including 2 to John Saramba, the chair of the Township Historic Preservation Committee, that Ms. Gavigan did not produce in her response to my Oprah request. The township attorney has advised that legal action has been threatened against East Amwell if full and complete responses to this Oprah request are not made by January 14th. Furthermore, the attorney has advised that under New Jersey Statute 47:1A-1, those who knowingly violate Oprah can be fined a civil penalty of $1,000. If the township is found to be in violation of Oprah, there will be other monetary damages involved. Based on the foregoing, I am compelled to make a final request for this information. Krista Parsons, Acting Clerk. Now this refers to material facts not in evidence to me, and I'm sorry, I got 90,000 plus emails in my Gmail account, and I sent out something on a work one. Anything, my understanding from your email earlier was that private things like the society, it was private is private. If it wasn't on your phone, it didn't matter, and things like that. There are multiple iterations of emails sent and received which I believe usually copy Krista, on the activities of the Parks and Recreation Committee. So will I send that stuff back? I spoke to Krista yesterday, Frank, and from our conversation, it was, I don't know if you had conversations with members of the committee or the applicant, but these allegations were made, are put with what is clearly a threatening email. And when I asked that a clarification and a revision be done to refer to the parts were alleged to have done something, be referred to as alleged. I find out tonight that's client privilege, attorney-client privilege, and things like that. I'm assuming, Frank, you did not go through the stack of paper that high. Krista, I'm assuming that you did not go through all of those things, and then there's multiple threads. But what comes down to it is what the four-letter word that allows fornication in the United Kingdom in 1378 or thereabouts is this all about? What does it matter other than a demand made at a Grange party was not immediately provided, and the next day an Oprah request? What is the perceived reason for this? I know they don't have to give one, but gee, maybe they would if there needed to be discovery somewhere along the line. This is just really stupid. And hopefully in 2022, and Mark and Tara and John, you're on the bubble, Jenna, because you haven't really said much yet, that this will not be the year of the BS. I don't know if I need to, I won't go into that. The other thing, one of the comments that was made about John working closer with the Grange. I'm on the Grange. Some of the members of the Historic Preservation Committee Society are on the Grange. We've already been discussing this week, and you were on those meetings, to have programs that worked closer together. I've set up our professional historian, Alexis Antricoli, to provide guidance and a presentation February 7th to the Grange, because they want to preserve their history. And they don't know how to do this. They're farmers or farmer associated. So, what has been a blessing is that we have had, since the end of November, beginning of December, inklings, shadows, and rumblings of a community. Is that the conspiracy? Or is it that people are told, no, you can't have what you want because it isn't your toy to say who can access the museum? Santa came in one door, went through the kitchen, came in, sat or talked to Santa, and then was escorted out the front door. Talk about Park and Recs going overboard. And there were docents and members of the society there playing the violin and things like that. It's your building. You pay for it. We're not self-sustaining. There's been a lot of talk about, getting grants and how much money's been given and all of that. But show me the money, show me the membership, show me the what. And I would like to work with you, Mark, or Tara, or John, on putting together, something with the society. I have told people that if anybody wants access to Clausen House, I will make it available and be there and babysit the antiques. That's no big whoop. Now, one thing that is really needed are volunteers, not only for the society, but for various boards throughout the township. And even though there are alleged facts, not in evidence or provided, that are in this, that are libelous, I'm not going to sue the township, because you don't sue the place where you live, because you end up paying for that activity. I would like to know, and I'll file an Oprah request for this, how many hours and how much money has been spent on this with you, Frank, and also with Krista. It's a monumental waste of time. Santagate. Shh. Protect your children. You know, you never know. Those elves are dangerous. I know, I impersonated one when I had the museum open and advertised opportunities for people to bring their children. And I would have brought a fur rug for them to sit on so they weren't sitting on something. And they'd get Christmas stories and other stories. The children are the people who grow up to think this is a good place to live, and then when they become adults, like Allison and others, they volunteer their time. None of them need this stuff. But just a final shill, and I'll stick this at the back. Hi, anybody who wants an opportunity to join the Historical Society, you are more than welcome. And there is a presentation on Wednesday. Oh God, the phone's locked up. Wednesday, the 26th, I believe, but I'm going to double check it. Yes, it is the 26th at 7 p.m., the Elf Witching Hour. And John Allen is going to give a talk on the Wurtzes, where we got Wurtzville Road, and there was a community of Wurtzes down by where the Peacocks used to be for you older folks, or where Lindbergh Road is, you know, the farm across the street and things like that. And it goes back to colonial times. It was occupied, that house there was occupied by the British, I believe. So anybody who is interested, here's a membership form. You put out VIPs, you put out all sorts of stuff in the lobby. Can I leave these in the lobby?
Yep.
Certainly.
Good. Okay. And thank you, Jenna. I heard your voice. You know, let's just stop the bull. You know, I had cows. They killed the sheep and I got rid of them.
John?
Oops. Huh?
Expenses.
What did I do? Nothing. I'm getting out of your way. Hey, I have a hip that's
Look at
held
old married
together
couple.
with Band-Aids.
John Sarapa, 111 John Wrinkle Road. Again, just to reiterate, when Allison made the phone call, I followed the Township of East Amwell Ordinance 90-06, the Historical Preservation Ordinance A-3E, which it says that we are to promote appreciation of historic landmarks for education, pleasure, and the welfare of the local population. And the only thing I have to say is, again, this had to happen all at a very quick time. Parks and Rec was unbelievable in doing this. And again, it was for the township residents of East Amwell, not for the Township Committee members. And that's what this is for. Historical preservation is also, just to remind everyone, an autonomous committee. And we decided at a very quick hour to give Parks and Recreation the approval of going in. Because again, Lawson House is owned by the township, not by the Historical Society. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Anyone else? I see no one else. Can I have a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving on, approval of bills. Sarah, did you have a chance to?
I did.
Oh, nice.
They looked the way they usually do, just some lower amounts because it's January, so I think they're good. If anyone else has an opinion.
Can I have a motion to approve the bills of the evening?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Ms. Ramsey?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
And Mr. Castellano?
Yes. All right, the administrative reports. Hey, the state police report still?
I can talk
Oh,
about that for a
I'm
second.
sorry, John, go ahead.
Yeah, the records management system on the state level was recently revamped. So they're trying to figure out a way to give us the report close to how we used to get it. So it's not as simple as it used to be, but,
Yeah. That's why I
I've been-
put no update due to
Yeah.
system.
I know, that's why, I know, I understand it, but I just wanted they had more finer
isn't
point
for-
on that.
Yeah, it isn't for a lack of inquiring.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so anybody else, any other questions or comments on the administrative reports?
No.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the administrative reports?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Correspondence, that's fine. So we get to the favorite part. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Amen.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Here,
Thank you.
here's a pen, whoever's pen it was.
I think this was yours.